they're about to run out of steam. The Russians are. So what they can, what they say they versus what they actually can do, and how much they expended to take cities like Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and then they had to go into this operational pause and basically halt all their activities. Although there's been small incursions, I don't think those are just more, in my opinion. Although they're very dangerous, right? There's still a massive Russian force in here, but they're running out of ammo. They're running out of men to get to the front lines, and people with 5 days of training being pushed into Ukraine to fight for Russia. I'm pro-Ukrainian to a fault, so I don't think they have the capability to push farther into the east. They haven't even achieved their, it's been 4+ months since they lost a war to take all of Ukraine, and they said they were just going to take the Donbass, and they haven't done that yet.
A bridge held by the Russians, which leads into the occupied southern city of Kherson. Well, the Ukrainian troops have targeted it with a barrage of up to 18 rounds of rocket fire, and it appears that the Russian anti-missile defences were unable to prevent them from getting through. So what's going on? How significant is this? Let's talk to Major John Spencer, Chair of Urban Warfare Studies with the Madison Policy Forum. Major Spencer, hello.
Hello.
Now, some commentators are getting pretty excited about this move. Are you?
Absolutely. We've been watching, hopefully, this offensive, as even President Zelensky said, they liberated 44 villages and towns on the way to Kherson. But this bridge, this massive bridge that crosses this river that runs through the middle of the city is one of the very primary Russian ways of getting heavy equipment across the river. So if it can be cut like it pretty much was overnight. I mean, it's been hit a few times because it's very difficult to take down a bridge that big with just indirect fire. But this is, that multiple launch rocket systems from the United States that has been, causing almost a game-changing effect in Ukraine and allowing them to go back on the offensive. And that's what we saw. So this bridge is huge. It gives possibly the Ukrainians the ability to make it so the Russians can't get any reinforcements, resupply, or even withdraw, because the Russians really like to run when they start to get basically surrounded.
And so that's the aim, to surround them, cut them off, or indeed force them back, and possibly mirror this elsewhere in Ukraine.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in this city, right? This is a very important city. It's been occupied since week one by Russian forces. And it's big to them to say they're going to turn it into Russian territory. So Ukraine's, that first step of a major urban fight is to isolate the objective. But these bridges, and there's more than one, are really critical bridges and roads to, totally cutting off the Russians. And you could potentially see the Russians just surrender, but only time will tell. But it's a major event for sure.
Well, the Russians were not able to prevent this barrage of up to 18 rounds getting through, but won't they be better able to next time the Ukrainians try it? Or are these Himars missiles so difficult to intercept that the Russians simply won't be able to do so?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's where we're at. And you don't listen to what Russians say, listen to what they do. They weren't able to stop multiple attacks and now they're trying to form like this ancient like ferry system going across the bridge as of today. No, I think this shows that they can't stop the Himars and that the Himars are that big of a game changer. And hopefully, I think this is part of the strategy, right? That Ukraine has to show the world that they're effectively using these Western weapons. And I'm significantly impressed by what the Ukrainians have been able to do. And they only have 12, potentially 16 of these Himars systems in theater.
How is the situation complicated by the fact that the Ukrainian Navy is supposed to be working on developments at 3 Ukrainian Black Sea ports in preparation for the resumption of grain exports? The Russians have already targeted facilities at Odessa. Might they not try to increase their attacks because they've been wounded in this way?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the dangerous part. So the Russians signed a deal with the UN and Turkey, and then a day later attacked the same ports in Odessa that they would need to fulfill that deal to get the grain to the world, especially like Africa. People are literally starving to death because this grain is being held by Russia. Yes, my fear too is just, absolutely. This is the seaports in complicating this global emergency that's happening, but also what we've seen what Russians do when they're frustrated and trapped. They start doing horrible atrocities to the civilians. So I'm really concerned about the civilians in Kherson, as well as clearly the Russians are starting to get cut off, and it's desperate for them.
And a week or so ago, Major, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that as a result of the increased supply of Western weapons to Ukraine, the Russians were going to have to push deeper into the east of the country. Are we seeing signs of that happening?
No, actually, after they basically, even the MI6 director, as you know, said that they're about to run out of steam. The Russians are. So what they can, what they say they versus what they actually can do, and how much they expended to take cities like Severodonetsk, Lysychansk, and then they had to go into this operational pause and basically halt all their activities. Although there's been small incursions, I don't think those are just more, in my opinion. Although they're very dangerous, right? There's still a massive Russian force in here, but they're running out of ammo. They're running out of men to get to the front lines, and people with 5 days of training being pushed into Ukraine to fight for Russia. I am pro-Ukrainian to a fault, so I don't think they have the capability to push farther into the east. They haven't even achieved their, it's been 4+ months since they lost a war to take all of Ukraine, and they said they were just going to take the Donbass, and they haven't done that yet.